and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the this and that tag. So it's basically going to be a colour and chat. And yeah, sorry I'm a bit late to do this. I was originally tagged by Yanni at Yar Colouring and also Rosie from Rosie Crafted Colours. The original tag was started by Michaela Renee. I will link all of those channels down below in the description, and I'll link the videos as well where they've done their own this and that tag, so if you want to check them out. But yeah, basically what I thought today, I would basically do it as a colour and chat, which is why I've put it off a bit, because I've been in a bit of a funny mood with my colouring for a couple of weeks. I thought I would, before I started, I thought I would update. This is the one we've been doing in our regular colour and chats. When we left it, we'd only just done the head with these leafy things. So I have done my homework. I've got all the sort of fiery, leafy, orangey things done on him. So yeah, I will be getting back to him in a regular colour and chat, probably next week though. See how it goes. But yeah, I thought I would just give you an update on that. I was going to do that, as I say, but Fragile Worlds, brand new book by Kirby. Love my Kirby. And I wanted to make sure that I do start this year, because I do have a habit of being indecisive. But I've been looking through it this morning because I wanted something easy that I could do and still talk, you know, to do the tag, because, you know, multitasking. And which is no easy feat sometimes with Kirby's pictures, because it's like an easy Kirby picture. Though they are quite easy, but oh, I should have marked the page I decided on. But this is This is the picture I decided to do, because I thought this is going to be nice and simple, because it's basically going to be a monotone. I've looked up, these are the forest owlets, and I've looked up now, I'm not sure if this actually will work, but this is a forest owlet. Does that show on my phone? I've never actually tried to do this. I'll bring this in. But yeah, this is a forest owlet, but basically, we'll see if that worked afterwards in the editing. If you don't see my phone out showing a picture, you'll know it didn't work. But basically, a forest owlet is sort of a nice sort of milky cocoa brown with a sort of creamy, it's not cream, but it's almost like a dusky brown bordering on cream chest. So brown, lots of brown, should be nice and easy. A few leaves scattered in and some moss things for some colour. But this essentially is going to be a brown page. See how that one goes. Yeah, so what I thought I would do as well, keeping it simple. The last Kirby page I did, I used my watercolour pencils. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I do have my Derwent water brush pen. This is the first time I've not actually used this. I've only filled it with water the first time today. But if I don't get on with the brush pen, then I've got a regular paintbrush and a little bowl of water just to the side there. And yeah, we'll do that. But the goal today is just to get some browns down, nice and easy. So let me just get the camera into the side a bit so that my hand isn't like blocking everything. And we'll get started. Right then, so I think I'm going to start on this. We'll start on what I can call the boring bit, because it's the wood and not the fluffy owls. So I've just got, what's this, Espresso in the Arteza watercolours. And we're just going to put some of that down. Remember, this is just going to be base. I will be going over the top in like regular pencils. So this is just about getting a base down of undercolours, making sure it all works. So, the tag, this or that. Okay, question number 1. Alcohol markers or water-based markers? So, if you've been on my channel, you probably know this, because I go on about it all the time. Water-based markers, oh, you know, I annoy myself about it. I have a thing about the streaks, and I actually, I'm somewhat envious of people who can colour with water-based markers that streak, and they're like, oh no, that's fine, I don't mind that. I wish I could be like that, I really do. Because I can't, it drives me nuts. So definitely alcohol based markers. I mean, occasionally you do get a streak somewhere if you let it dry, but yeah, for the most part I will go alcohol markers all day, every day. If I do have to go water-based markers, I prefer things that have like brush tips, and because I just get on well with the brush tips and they streak less. So things like the Faber-Castell Pit Artist pens, and also what else? Oh, the Arteza real brush pens. I get on well with them. But yeah, aside from small exceptions like that, generally I avoid water-based markers, and I will go for alcohol markers. So that was nice and simple. I can do that. Simple is good. Question number 2. Jade Summer grayscale or line art. Okay, so the grayscale or line art books from Jade Summer. Grayscale, that was another nice easy one. To be honest, it's mostly because of the topics they choose though. I mean, if there's a grayscale and a line art version of the same book, I'll always choose the grayscale, because it's just like quite easy colouring. I love their grayscale books. I don't know what they just get it right, for me anyway. And some of their line art books are, a lot of their line art books are quite, they have like the cats and dogs and all this sort of stuff that just don't appeal to me, and they've only got them in line art, but they just don't appeal to me either. So just build up the colour a bit here. So yeah, I just don't, even though there's no grayscale versions of those books don't appeal to me either. So unless they do a pattern, they've got a couple of pattern books that I've got in line art, but apart from that, it's grayscale all the way with Jade Summer. So yeah. Question 3. Oh, I better slow down. I'll get these through. There's 23 questions in total. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So I don't want to get through them too fast. I'm sure I'll wibble a lot later on. So question 3. Prismas or polychromos? So Prismacolor pencils or polychromos? That's quite a tough question. Perhaps not for the same reasons as a lot of people. In that I have a handful of polychromos that I've just bought some open stock, and I do have some Prismacolors, but I don't have a full set. I just have, well, actually I've just bought a small, I found some on it wasn't a lightning deal, but in the UK they had a 36 set of Prismacolors available on a daily deal that was for a good price, because it also had a 5% off token coupon. So I have just bought some Prismacolors to add to my small modest Prismacolor collection. I think I had like 24 or something. So that has bumped up the size of my Prismacolor collection. So I guess I'll have to say Prismacolors. But I'm not one of these. I'll just move this down a bit. I know there's some people who, you know, live and die by Prismacolor. I'm not like that. I use them occasionally when I'm in the mood to do something, and I do prefer a softer pencil, but neither one of those pencils are like a go-to for me. I'm just going to do that lightly. So yeah, my go-to pencils, if I'm looking for a budget-friendlier brand, is usually either my Black Widows, or depending on the paper, my Marco Raffines. And if I'm looking to do, nice pencils, I'm splashing out a bit, then I will use my modest selection of luminance. So yeah, I guess Prismacolors, just because I've got more of them in my collection. I'm not hugely a pencil girl, so I have a very modest pencil collection anyway. But yeah, Prismacolors. Right. Number 4, Hannah Carlson or Maria Trolle? Well, that one's still a fairly easy question for me to answer. I have a Hannah Carlson Colouring Heaven, and also I bought her Winter Dreams postcard books, but out of all of Hannah's books, those are the only ones I own. Maria Trolle, I've bought 2 of her books. I haven't actually coloured much in either one of them though. I only got them last summer. One of them I've started to colour in, and the other one I just bought because it was super cheap. It came up on it had a huge price drop, so it was silly cheap. It was like £6 or something. So even though I knew at the time I wouldn't be colouring in it for a while, I was like, I want this book eventually. I'd be mad not to add it to my collection at that price. And I've not seen it at that price again since, so good decision, even if I haven't coloured in it yet. So yeah, Maria Trolle would be my choice. Because Hannah Carlson, well, I don't really do faces and stuff very much, so... Do you know what I've just remembered? Good job I'm not using alcohol markers or anything. I've just remembered I've not put any paper in between my pages. So I have to be careful. Fortunately, with it being watercolour pencils, I'm not actually pressing too hard. I just need to be careful at the edge. Right, yeah, so Maria Trolle. What have we got next? Number 5, colour by number or non-colour by number books. You know, I like a colour by number, but they are definitely my no thinky books when I just, you know, not up to doing something big, because I'm so slow generally with colouring that nothing for me is a simple project. Everything is a simple picture. Everything that I do in depth like this, it's going to be a project. This is going to take me a while to do. In no small part, I admit it's my fault. Things take me a long time to do because I'll start it and then I'll put this down and probably won't touch it again for like a week or 2. But yeah, I like a colour by number, but if I had to choose, you know, I would always choose non-colour by number because of pictures like this, and Johanna Basford as well. But you know, there's just so many wonderful pictures out there that yeah, I can imagine not having something. I mean, I do admit that when I do my colour by numbers anyway, it's not unknown for me to substitute a colour or 2 anyway, so I kind of do it my own way. But yeah, non-colour by number. Okay, number 6, mandalas or patterns. Well, that's an easy one. If you've been here, you know the answer to this. I love my mandalas, which is hilarious really, because when I first started colouring, I was like, oh no, mandalas, they're all symmetrical, that's so boring, and I didn't even try them. I just assumed I wouldn't like them because I don't like wallpaper pages. I had tried a wallpaper page and didn't like that. Yet ironically, and I didn't even think about it knowingly, but I would do a mandala page in a Johanna Basford book, because you know she does a really ornate flowery mandalas, and I didn't really see them as mandalas. I don't know why. And then I got a Sun Life drawing book, which was the inverted mandalas, which is basically just key lines on a black background that you do them, and I loved it. I only got it originally because it had the black background and it just looked a bit different. So I thought, well, if I'm going to try mandala, I'll try that one. And then since then I found out that I love them. I don't do them all the time. I'll do a few a month usually. So I'm not a mandala monster. But I do like my mandalas now. Wallpapers. Yeah, I'm not a fan of wallpaper pages. I will very, very, very rarely do one. If I do though, it's usually with a gimmick in mind, like a limited palette or something like that. But yeah, I don't like wallpaper pages or patterns very much, unless they've got mandala elements to them, which some of them do, because to be fair, a mandala is another form of pattern. But yeah, mandalas. Right. Double-sided or single-sided books. So this is a double-sided book because we've got an image on the back. or single-sided. Well, as I like alcohol markers, in an ideal world I would like to have single-sided pages, just because they're easier to colour, and you know, even though I might not always do a picture with an alcohol marker base, you know, the option's there, and I like options. Give me choices. I like choices. And so yeah, from that perspective, I would prefer single-sided. That all said, oh, there is something nice about, especially if it's a good quality book, have it flipping through like this and having double pages, and yeah, there is something quite nice, but only in a good quality book. In a cheaper one, like if it was a Jade Summer, I'd definitely want single-sided all the way. I wouldn't be impressed by a double-sided book, but you know, this one I can live with. I think I'm just going to bring in some black here as well, because we want this, because these owls are going to be brown as well. I'm going to use a different brown, but we just want to make sure it's there's room for it to stand out. Okay, so yes, single-sided, except when I like double-sided. Does that help? Right, question 8. Single pages or a double page spread? Okay, so they mean just a single page like this, or would you prefer to colour a double page like this? Generally speaking, single pages, just because I'm so slow. And as I mentioned before, like I don't just colour pages. Like everything is like a marathon. It's a project. I don't have easy things when I do pictures like this, so it does need to be a big time investment. I also don't have any problem having long-term whips, so I've got whips that are going on for like a couple of years at this point. Funny enough, both Kirby's. Let's hope this one doesn't last so long. And I don't actually have a problem with that. I know eventually I'll get back to them and finish them off. And every now and again I'll do them and have a couple of have an hour working on it or something. But yeah, it's a big time investment. So if I actually want to get something finished, then it's single pages. Single pages. Right. Okay, a hoo-hoo, oh I like saying that, a hoo-hoo, or Cali art markers. Well, I actually don't have either of those sets, so I cannot compare. I don't think one of them are even, you can't even get the Cali arts, I think it is. I don't think you can get the Cali arts in the UK anyway, so it's not even a choice for me. I've no way for me to test them. The hoo-hoos I've never got. I think I don't know if one or the other has brush tips. If only one of them has brush tips and the other doesn't, then I would go for the ones with the brush tips, because I do like brush tip markers. And I hate chisel nibs. If I'm going to use a marker, it's a bullet nib. Yeah. That is, I think a hoo-hoo are the ones that do. I don't know, maybe they both do. But if one of them doesn't, and only one of them has brush tips, that's the ones I would choose. Okay, well, let's just get this. We'll just do this up here, and then I think I'll try putting water to that. Right, what are we on? Question 10, so we're nearly halfway there. Question 10. Colour by number white or black background. So this one is very much, well, a few of them have started doing it now. I think Colour Questopia started doing it. Also Sun Life Drawing have started reissuing their books with the back, you know, like the mosaic colour by numbers. They have the lines, and you can colour in the lines between the mosaics, and but they started printing the books now with the lines already filled in, so it's a black background. That's what they mean by that, in case you was curious. I have actually found out that I think I prefer the white backgrounds, because you colour them in gel pens, and I like to do like at least two-tone. So I tend to do my foreground object in one colour, usually black or something dark, and then I'll do the background in a softer gel pen, and it helps make the thing pop. Whatever the image is in the foreground, it helps it pop out and just makes it a bit more interesting, I think. So that's the way I tend to do mine, and I find them more interesting to do that way. That's a way of making my colour by number a bit of my own, if that makes sense, as opposed to it just being the same as the next person, who might have chosen slightly different shades, but for all intents and purposes, a colour by number is going to look very similar to another colourist who's done the colour by number, because assuming they follow the guide, then you're picking the same colours and doing it the same way. So that for me is my way of both making it mine, and also it just makes it a bit more interesting for me. So yeah, I generally prefer the white backgrounds, but that's not to say I do have a black background one, and it is handy, because when you're pressed for time and you're just not in the mood for it, then you can just do the black background one. So I'll probably have a couple with the lines filled in, but generally I think I'm going to always go for the ones with the white backgrounds. Alright. Nice thing about Kirby's work is his sketching. It does all the work for you. Right. Number 11. White Posca or white gel pen. Okay. So, generally speaking, I will go for a white gel pen, because it's a bit easier. And every now and again, anybody who's had a Posca for any length of time and uses them a lot know that just occasionally they basically explode on you, and you get this big splurge of paint on your page. So you don't get that with, obviously you don't get that with a white gel pen, but sometimes white gel pens can be a bit moody about what they're going over, and they get a bit clagged up. I think it just depends on the pencil formula that you're using, and it picks up sometimes the wax, and like gel pens can get, because it's a roller ball, get really a bit claggy sometimes, which makes them difficult. So sometimes I don't have a choice, gotta use a Posca. But if I did have a choice, then I would probably always just use a gel pen. Also, they're a bit easier because you just pick them up and take the lid off, and that's it. Whereas a Posca, you gotta give it a good shake before you do it. So yeah, gel pen. Okay, what have we got? Number 12, morning or night colouring. Okay, I generally don't mind that much. I'll colour at any time if I'm in the mood and if I've got the time. I'm not a morning person though. When it comes to like living my life every day, I will always be up a bit late, a bit of a night owl. I don't always colour at night, but I'll be watching YouTube videos or something like that. So it means if I am, then there's quite a good chance that I will be colouring. But whether it's a preference or not, I wouldn't say so. No, I think I'll colour anywhere, and my mood, whether I'm in the mood to colour, has not much to do with the time of day. The only thing I will say is if I do venture into the realm of doing a portrait, or I've got a face and I want them to look remotely human, which is a task in itself for me because I'm not that good at them, I tend to do them not necessarily in the morning or whatever, but just like in the daylight, because I found that, I don't know, maybe it's my eyes, I don't know, but I tend to be off with my flesh tones if I do them in, you know, even though I've got an LED light, which, you know, should be a bit more natural looking light, I find I get the colours wrong. So I'll look at it, I'll do something and think it looks okay, and then I look at it again in the next day in the daylight, in natural light, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's gone a bit wonky. So I would definitely prefer to do things like skin in the daytime, just because it's natural light. So it could be in the evening in the summer, because obviously it's still day, still light, well into the evenings. Alright, next, Jade Summer Chibi or April Amber Chibi. Jade Summer Chibi. I don't actually have any April Amber either, so that makes it simpler. I've got nothing against the April Amber ones. Just one, I prefer Jade Summers because they're grayscale, and I do like their grayscale chibis. I don't know how they've just, I can't even put my finger on what it is that I like. It's a bit like Hannah Lynn. I don't know what it is about her pictures that I like, because in theory they're just like, yeah, it's quite simple girls. They all look the same. Yet there's something about when you actually colour them that is fun. And that's how I feel about the Jade Summer chibis, grayscales. There's just something fun about colouring them. And the April Amber ones are a bit more, well, obviously they line up, but they're also a bit more simple. Like, so they don't, if I recall, they don't have so much backgrounds and stuff, things like that. So, anyway, I digress, because I don't have them books, so I'm just going by my terrible memory. I'll have people screaming at me, they've got backgrounds, they're really detailed. No, I don't think they have though. But yeah, Jade Summer chibis. Okay, number 14. I'm doing quite well with this, getting this I told you this, as people look at Kirby's pictures and think, oh, they're so detailed, they're so hard and complicated. Look, this is just a lump of wood. And I'm not even doing a lot of shading. I mean, obviously I will come back in afterwards with shading, but this is just lightly running over with a watercolour pencil. I'm just putting dark in where Kirby's put dark in, and otherwise, and it takes care of itself. Never be intimidated by Kirby. Sorry, I told you I digress. I get sidetracked. Right, question 14. Alan Robert or Emily Lederhall Oberg. So Alan Robert does all the Beauty of Horror books, and Emily Lederhall Oberg, I can't remember the name of her books, but she's a sort of Scandinavian artist, so it's got that sort of whimsical, kind of fairy tale-ish, but you know, it's that very Scandinavian style of buildings and squarish animals, if you know what I mean, and things like that. I don't have either of their books, but you know, I'm going to start to put water on this. Should I use it? Do you know what? I think I'm just going to use this little paintbrush, just so I can control it a bit better. Because watercolour, the water brushes are okay and all that, but I can never seem to control it. So this should help. What was I saying? Oh right, so I don't have either of their books, but if I was to get some, it would be the Alan Roberts. I mean, I'm not a huge horror fan, but I'm not anti-horror either. His style, not his subject, but the style isn't really massively my thing. I would get them, but they always seem so expensive in the UK. It's really annoying, because like I see some people on their channels in the US and they're like, oh, this was on special on Amazon and it was only like $5 or something. I would buy the book if it was like £5 even. and £5 is more than $5. But I never see it that low in the UK. It's always like £10 or something like that. And for a book that I would only dabble in, that's a lot of money. So if it came down in price, I would colour in one. There's a few, some of them I like more than others. There's one that's, I can't remember what it's called. Creature Feature, maybe. It's based on, it riffs off of movies. I quite like that one. So if I was to get one, I would probably get that one. Or one of the smaller Christmas or Halloween ones. But I don't care much for the first, well, I think, was it 3 in the series? I mean, as I say, if I could get them super cheap, then I'd feel a bit differently about them, but I can't, so I don't. So the very long-winded answer there was Alan Roberts. Right. Next. Right. Doubles or duplicate pages in a book, or one copy of each picture. So another example of that is Jade Summer. If you buy the regular Jade Summer book, then you get I think it's usually something like 25 pages, but there'll be 50 pages in the book, and like they'll have the first 25 and then it repeats and they give you a second set of images. I don't like that, which is why I usually wait and hope that Jade Summer brings it out in a multi-book format. I'd have to really like a book for me to buy a single copy. I did do it with the Chibi Horror, and now I have regrets because they've brought that out in a 4-book series, like a 4-in-1, which I'll probably get because I don't have 2 of the books, and it's still cheaper to buy the 4-in-1 than it is to buy the 2 separate books. But yeah, I can't colour the pictures I've got the first time. There's so many of them. I don't have time to do them a second time. So yeah, I always prefer to have single issue images, and it just feels like a waste of paper otherwise. That whole second set wasted. So yeah. Okay, next we've got Johanna Basford or KERBY Rosanes. I mean, I don't have kids, but I imagine this is what it would be like to have to, you know, choose between your children. Like, Johanna was, I've done it now, haven't I? That's the thing about watercolour. Sometimes on dark areas, like you're like, have I activated that bit? Johanna Basford was my first, along with, you know, the masses. She was like my first real colouring book, and is in no small part responsible for me actually getting into adult colouring, like properly, because there was real pictures, they're good pictures, and I do love colouring a flower. One of my favourite books ever is World of Flowers. Looking forward to her new book coming out in 1st of April, I think it is. And so Johanna will always have a special place in my heart for that. And you know, it's not just nostalgia. I like her work. I like her style. KERBY is obviously a very, very different style, and yet he was still one of my early colouring books. I think I'm not one of these people that is just like, oh, I love it, but I'm too scared to do it. I got a KERBY book a couple of months after I started colouring. Oops, that's fine. And so I started colouring his work very, very early in my journey as well. And because I'm not sure I'd say, I don't find his work hard. Yeah, I am going to say that. I don't find his work challenging or difficult or scary. The only thing I find it is a more labour intensive. His pictures are more detailed, and so they take me longer to do. That's my only quibble with KERBY's work. They take me so long to do. But you know, in many ways he does the work for you, because he does this sketchy style, and you know, that's as good as grayscale, really. So I have no problem looking at one of Kirby's pictures and saying, right, I'll just work on that bit. I don't know, it must be how my brain processes things, but whenever I look at a picture, I never see that whole big scary picture. I just see the bits that I can break it down into, and when you break down any picture into bits, then they become easy. So I absolutely love Kirby's work as well. If I had, so I don't think, honestly, I'm not sure if I could choose. But if my house was on fire and I could grab one colouring book, it's like the desert island things, isn't it? If I had to just grab a book as I was running out of my burning house, because obviously I wouldn't pick up my phone or my passport or my money, I would pick up a colouring book as my house burned to the ground. And I think I would pick a Kirby, just because he gives the variety, I suppose. Joanna obviously does a lot of flowers, but her style is very much the same, but Kirby's work is all over the place between sort of topics, mythological, and you know, things like that. I mean, obviously Fragile Worlds, you think about his other work that he's done, Fragile Worlds, whilst it is that sort of inky style still, it is it's very different from his other work. So he does have a lot of variety, and obviously these books would keep me occupied like forever. I don't think I'll ever finish. I would love to finish a mythographic. Mythographic? I do know that's the wrong name, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, I would love to finish a Kirby book. I doubt if I ever will, but it's in one of my 10 books to finish because I would love to do it. Yeah, so I suppose if you really, really, really forced me, I would pick Kirby, but it's under duress. I would really, I want both in my life forever and ever. Right. Hannah Lynn or Jasmine Beckett Griffith? Oh no, I've skipped a one. Pastel, so question 17. Pastel or acrylic backgrounds? Well, I'd do both. I would probably say though pastel, because they are, I find them easier to do. They're quicker, at least. Like you just pop open the box and lay down your chalk pastel with a cotton bud or a you know, one of those cosmetic pad things, and bam, you're done. Whereas acrylic paint, you know, you've got to dispense your paint into something. I mean, you can paint straight from the bottle, but it's not easy, or tube. So usually you've got to dispense it, and if you wanted a different colour, you might want to mix the colour. So that takes a bit longer, and then the painting takes a while. It does take a while, and then you've got to wait for it to dry. Though, to be fair, acrylic does dry pretty quickly, but to me it just feels like a bit more faffing around. And then you've got to wash your brushes, unless you're doing it with a Posca. You've got to wash your brushes. So yeah, I think pastel, just because I'm a lazy bum. If there's a shortcut I can take something, I usually take it. Yeah, because I have to, because I'm so slow with everything else. If there's a shortcut, I need it, because I need all the help I can get. But I do like acrylic backgrounds, and I do them sometimes if I want a very specific effect. And I've just got a whole load of the Arteza metallic acrylics. If you've not seen, I've swatched them up in the corner, which I am just like itching to use. And I'd use them in this book, except I don't think it would really suit the theme. I want this to be a sort of realistic. These pictures, if you look at the back cover, there's some really cool effects, and I would love to do this It scares the living day. That is something that scares the living daylights out of me, because it's just not because it's hard, but because it's like not following the rules, like blue tiger, green tiger. But I think it's something I would do with a second copy of the book. This copy of the book I think I want to make realistic, for want of better words. So I will be using pictures. That's why I actually for once got a picture to find out what these little owlets look like, just so I can make them semi-realistic. I need to be careful here because, as I mentioned, I don't have that paper underneath. Right, so pastel backgrounds. Question 18, Hannah Lynn or Jasmine Becker Griffith? Right, so that one's easy. Hannah Lynn, I mentioned her earlier. I don't know what it is about. I remember the first time I saw Hannah Lynn and people were like colouring in Hannah Lynn pictures, and I'm like, why is everybody raving about her? You know, everybody's like Hannah Lynn this and Hannah, I love my Hannah Lynn. And I was just like, well, they're quite simple. Why does everybody love it so much? And then Colouring Heaven, which was also my first Colouring Heaven that I ever bought. I just tried one out because I found it in my supermarket. And I don't know, it's like I was saying with the Jade Summer grayscales, there's just something about colouring them so that you only sort of discover when you do actually colour. So I coloured in one of hers and I was just like, now I get it. Oddly, Jasmine Becker Griffiths was the other way around. I really, really, really wanted her artwork and I nearly bought her books, and then luckily Colouring Heaven brought out one, I think it was a mermaids one or something. There was lots of mermaids in it anyway. And I was like, yeah, fine, I can do her books and pictures. And I did one and I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I think part of it is because of those big heads and big eyes. Maybe that's something that will come to me in time. But I found out, that's a big drop of water on it. I just found out that that's not really what I enjoy, or at least at the time. I should try another picture. I've not attempted any of her pictures for a while. I should give it a go because tastes change if nothing else. But I do like looking at her pictures, but she's one of those artists that I like looking at but not necessarily enjoy colouring. But never say never, and I would like to do, I need to do another one of her pictures, to be honest. Not even about giving her another chance, because it's not that I disliked it, I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Whereas Hannah Lynn I enjoy. Right, so Hannah Lynn. Next, nearly there. Question 19. Do you buy from Amazon or Etsy? Amazon. I look at Etsy quite a lot, but I've never actually pulled the trigger on it. I don't know why. It's always something I've been threatening to do, like especially with the PDFs. There's so many good artists on there, and I look at them and I think one day I will, but that one day never seems to come, if you know what I mean. So while I do browse Etsy quite a lot, I've never actually bought from there. Amazon, however, Amazon and I are deep friends. We send Christmas cards and you know, stuff like that. And yeah, I have Amazon Prime, which means that you know, it's free shipping. Not that stops me, because in fact, in a way, Amazon Prime is a bit of a waste in that sense, because I don't tend to buy single colouring books. I tend to buy a few colouring books at once, and they'll sit in my basket, and I'll save them up. I don't just go mad to you know, to buy multiple books. I'll see a book that I want, and instead of just buying it straight away, I'll wait until I've got a few. So I don't take advantage of it in that way, because most of the time I would reach the minimum spend requirement for free shipping anyway. But it is quicker. You do get next day shipping usually from Amazon Prime, so that's good. But yeah, Amazon all the way, I'm afraid. The only other place I've ever bought a colouring book from, apart from a shop that is AliExpress, and that's because they're not on Amazon. and occasionally the few things that Amazon do have are completely overpriced compared to what you can get on AliExpress, because of you know, Amazon are obviously taking their own markup, and on AliExpress you might be buying straight from the you know, you're buying from the region where it's been made, so it's a bit cheaper. Right, glitter gel pens or stickles. This would be glitter gel pens, because I don't actually have any stickles. They're kind of on my radar. I know everybody raves about them. I would love to try them, but do you know what? There are just so many things that I would love to try, and I can't try them all because unfortunately I'm not. I've yet to win the lottery, so we have to make our choices. This is not unique to me. We all generally are in a position where we have to pick and choose what thing we want to try next. And whilst I would love to try stickles, I just, they've not made it to the top of the list yet. So one day, who knows, maybe this year is the year. But yeah, gel pens. I do love my Pentel hybrids, which is the Sparkle Pops in the States and elsewhere. Yeah, I do love those. My favourite gel... Oh, I keep doing that too quickly. My favourite gel pens by far are the Pentel hybrids. I love the colour shift. They are so shiny and blingy. We love them. Right, next. Hardback or softback books. Well, softbacks are good because they're cheaper. But I have to say, you know, I've only got a couple of hardback books. They're nice. They take up more space, but there is something nice about having a book with a hardback. They feel nicer. Because generally, if the cover's good, if a publisher has gone to the effort of making a book hardback, it usually means the paper's decent as well. So they look good and they feel good, and generally, you know, they're nice. So I suppose I would prefer a hardback, but you know, that's like the special treat. That's like my Sunday dinner, and the rest of the week is my softback books. My regular dinners, just softback books. I like them. I still enjoy them. I have no problem with having a softback book, but a hardback book, it just feels like that little bit extra treat because they're usually nicer. Simple or intricate pages. Well, this kind of goes in with the same reasons of what I did my single pages. No, what was it? No, single pages or double page spreads. Mostly my decisions about what to colour isn't about how hard something is directly, it's about how long it will take me to colour it. Which usually is linked in, because if something's intricate, then it will take a while. Right, I think that's, I've done all that, haven't I? Oh, I had an incident. You can see the paper hasn't, there's a slightly little bit of buckling, but nothing bad. It's curled up a bit, that'll fix when it's in a book. I don't know what I did there. Looks like it's going to be a nighttime scene. I always do that. My backgrounds, my choice of backgrounds are always dependent on how many accidents I've had. But yeah, so simple or intricate. I like simple in that, you know, because that's what I do when I want my no thinky pages. Don't think I've done in there, but I do enjoy getting my teeth into something meaty as well. I do like an intricate page, a long-term project, because I don't mind having long-term projects. Right, I think I've done all that. Right, which works out well. I'm going to stop with that because we're on the last question, which is Christmas or Halloween pictures. And I do like a nice Christmas picture, and I'll actually colour a Christmas picture or a Halloween picture all through the year. I mean, if I'm in the mood for it. So I don't feel that same as I don't feel I have to only colour Christmas pictures at Christmas. I'll dip in and out. It just depends if I'm in the mood for it. Obviously, at Christmas, I'm more likely to be in the mood for a Christmas picture, but you know, it's not a definite. But if I had to choose between the two, I would go for Halloween, because I just think that spooky vibe. I mean, it's such an open bracket. Like Christmas, you can have your Christmas scenes and maybe some wintry scenes and a bit of snow and all that sort of stuff. But spooky is so much. You can have your witches and your ghouls and your zombies. You can have your graveyard scene. You can just have your sort of gothic scenes. There's just so much more you can do for Halloween. So I would more likely be in the mood to do Halloween all year, because, you know, it's just a broader spectrum of things that I can colour. So yeah, Halloween. That is my 23 questions. I'm actually going to tag people, and I'm going to remember to tag people this time. I actually meant to do that at the start of the video. Sorry, you had to set it all out if you well, actually no, it's going to be in the description below who I tag as well. But I'm going to try and mix it up a bit, because I do tend to fall on the same people over and over again that I tag. I had a look around and I didn't see that they've done this tag either. Maybe they have, maybe they just don't fancy it. It's all cool. But I am going to tag Imogen, which is the colouring kid. Would love to see her this and that choices. I am going to tag Amazon Tammy. I haven't seen her do this video, so yeah, would love to see that. And then I'm also going to tag Grace's Corner. Grace, I don't know, I've never really seen Grace do much in the way of actual tag videos, but she does a lot of colouring chats, and I think they kind of come up in passing there. If you're not into tags, it's not a problem, but I thought I would just throw it out there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. What do you think so far? Yeah, so far so good. Bearing in mind this is just the base, I think that looks okay. So far so good. Look, that's a load done. That is like a third of the picture done. Kirby is not that hard, or it doesn't have to be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tag. It just tells you, I like tags like this. It kind of, you learn about people. You learn a lot about people, because they do get quite chatty. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, give me that thumbs up. Don't forget, thumbs up. Love it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and you get a notification of any time I upload new videos. I've not decided whether I'll continue this in the colour and chat, because I've got that other picture going in a colour and chat as well, but maybe. I've got another tag video to do next, well, I've got 2 tag videos to do next week, so maybe one of them I'll continue in this and we'll make him a tag whip. Thank you so much for watching. I said that. I'll go now. Take care. Have a great day. Bye for now. Bye.